Feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.
Hello and welcome to the video wrap-up show for the Shrimp Tank podcast in Seattle. I'm Dan Whedon, and I'm joined today by my co-host, Michelle Bomberger. Michelle and I had a fascinating and fun conversation with Jenifer Lambert of TERRA Staffing Services. You're going to want to watch the entire episode, so please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want to watch any of the episodes that you've seen or we've done in the last 6 years, go to shrimptankpodcast.com/Seattle.
Jenifer, thanks so much for joining us today. I learned so much about what the world of talent looks like in the current environment. And so many companies are struggling with finding talent. Can you share just briefly what you all are seeing as trends in the universe of employers and talent and how staffing fits into it?
Absolutely. So thank you, first of all, for inviting me. I had a great time on this program. I love talking about talent. This is my whole world. And what we're seeing right now is that, there's demographic shifts that we're seeing in terms of the availability of workforce. We're seeing record numbers of new jobs being created coming out of COVID. And we're seeing that the talent supply is not keeping up with the demand. In so many ways, it reminds me of what we're experiencing in most major cities in the country around real estate, right? It's like competitive, the prices are going up, you've got to move fast, you've got to be aggressive. And so the employers who are winning right now are the employers who understand that you are competing first and foremost for talent and bringing the same strategy to attracting talent that they're bringing to attracting customers into their business. I can't imagine any business that would succeed without having a sales strategy and a marketing strategy around how to attract and acquire and retain customers. And the same is absolutely true for talent. I think that's been given short shrift maybe in the past. You can't just put up the now hiring sign and expect that that's going to work at all. And so a big part of what we're doing as part of our staffing work is, yes, supplying people either on a contract or temporary basis, as well as full-time placement for our customers. But now more than ever, we're doing consultation around what do they need to do to create a competitive value proposition to take to market? How do they position themselves correctly? And then also, how do they retain and keep the people that they have? So that's a very big part of the work that we're doing. It's not going to get easy anytime soon. All of the demographics, we've got baby boomers leaving at a faster rate than they have in the past. Who can blame them? And then we also just, again, job creation is hot right now. And the supply is not keeping up with the demand.
Jenifer, we had a great show, and I do encourage everybody to listen. One of my favorite answers of yours came on the very first question I had on Plead the Fifth, so I'm going to ask it again. I gave you the scenario that we put you in a high school gymnasium full of high school seniors, and you are going to give them your wisdom, your advice for their future. Would you share that answer here?
Sure. First of all, when you said you were going to put me in a high school gymnasium, I can literally smell it. Can you guys, like when you think about your high school gymnasium, a combination of sweat socks and sloppy joes. That's what's hitting me right now. But what advice would I give a high school senior? I would say, come from a place of yes. Say yes more than you say no. And there's a lot of advice about, waiting to find your passion. Don't give more than you're getting. And I think that's bad advice. I think you've got to put yourself out there and be a yes. Be willing to raise your hand and volunteer for things. When there's an opportunity to take on something outside of your job description, jump in with both feet. When you have an opportunity for mentorship or to meet somebody to expand your network, it's a yes. I recently, Michelle, this person, a good friend of ours, Walt Yeager, recently passed away. And he was one of my very first mentors because I said yes. And we developed a decades-long friendship, and I'll never regret saying yes to meeting him for coffee. So say yes. And it's not just for high school seniors, by the way. It's also for all these mid-career professionals who are talking about burnout right now. I didn't share this on the show, but it strikes me that there's a lot of talk right now about stress and burnout, and I'm not suggesting those aren't real things, but I feel like the antidote that we're giving for that is to pull back and to say no and to do less. And I'm not sure that's the right answer. We need to be stepping in and doing more of the things where we can bring unique value. We need to be doing more of the things that bring us joy. The world is depending on us showing up be occupying our seat where we can really bring value, and that's where we're going to get value back. So I think we need to worry less about what we're getting and look at more about how we can give, and we get a lot back in the process of doing that.
Jenifer, thanks so much again for being a guest on the Shrimp Tank today. For our listeners who want to get in touch with you or learn more about TERRA, how can they get more information?
There's a couple ways. The best way would be to visit our website, terrastaffinggroup.com. I encourage you to check out, if you're an employer, check out the employer resource section of our website. There's a lot of great free resources there, including some strategy assessments that you can complete. There's also archived past speakers from our HR Hotspot webcast series, which is very popular, and there's some great content there that you can avail yourself of, as well as some other white papers and information that is free and useful. You can also connect with me either via email, Jenifer@TerraStaffingGroup.com, or on LinkedIn. I publish articles there, as well as produce videos that people seem to enjoy. And if you would like to hear more and keep up with what's happening in the workplace, that's a great way for us to stay connected as well.
Great. And for our listeners, make sure you check out all the replays of the Shrimp Tank podcast at shrimptankpodcast.com/Seattle and wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Google, SoundCloud. Please follow us also on our social media pages, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
Well, Jenifer, thank you for joining us. It was indeed a pleasure. Michelle, thanks as always. Everybody, you should do exactly what Michelle said and like us on Facebook, so that way you can live stream every one of our episodes. Please join us every week at 12 p.m. Pacific for that live stream broadcast on the Facebook page. Our next show will be on Wednesday, March the 2nd. Our guest will be Keith Sconiers from Pace Suite out of Portland. Please join us. So until we see you again, please be healthy, be prosperous, and have fun. Because for right now, the shrimp is back in the tank. So long.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.